All right. Let's do it, boys.
Gentlemen, my name is RuffletRowlit, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. Today, we're going to be covering the UK region potentially being the next place for Pokemon Generation 8 to be based on. Now, we've talked about this in our previous video as well, where we covered a theory that kind of expanded on the tree posted by Game Freak. Now, in today's video, though, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to take all that information and combine it into one video. Everything I've talked about in my previous videos, stuff that we've seen in the past, and all that stuff, including also another theory that was posted earlier this year before we even knew all this stuff about Let's Go, that also has some information I think is worthwhile to keep in mind. So let's start with the actual first info here, which is something that I want to cover today. Now, this was sent to me recently, and I didn't want to make a whole video about this one, specific little subject here. So what you'll see on the screen here is going to be a picture sent to me by Maiko. Now, Maiko sent me this and also left me a message saying, "Dear RuffletRowlit, I want to write to you about this clue I found in the Pokemon Mart in Saffron City. In the corner of the Saffron City Mall, or Mart, a man stands and complains about how there's no souvenirs to promote the Go Park, no t-shirts,
Off to a pretty fucking bad start, my dude. Let's see what you got.
no snow globes, no paltry postcards," which to me sounds like a reference to Raphael Tuck & Sons in London. I think it's pretty clear Game Freak is saying something. Thought you'd enjoy it, and, well, I hope it helps. Much love.
What? Wait, Bernard, can you explain this? You're British. The fuck did he just say?
I think it's pretty clear Game Freak is saying something. Thought you'd enjoy it, and, well, I hope it helps. Much love from Master Maiko. So, Master Maiko, thank you so. And no paltry postcards, which to me sounds like a reference to Raphael Tuck & Sons in London. I think it's pretty clear Game Freak is saying something.
What? What is he talking about? Paltry postcards. I don't even get any results for that. What? England only has postcards.
You'd enjoy it, and, well, I hope it helps. Much love from Master Maiko. So, Master Maiko, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's actually a really nice catch. Now, what is he talking about here? Well, basically, this man mentions paltry postcards, specifically paltry postcards, which is very interesting to me. And then, of course, as Maiko linked me here, there's an article here, or rather a post by, whatchamacallem, bloody Wikipedia, actually showing you that Raphael Tuck & Sons is actually a, business that started back in, like, what, the 1800s? Back in, like, October 1866, which was a long time ago, and their biggest success was actually postcards. We'll actually read the start of the entry here, which says that Raphael Tuck & Sons was a business started by Raphael Tuck and his wife in Bishopsgate in the city of London in October 1866, selling pictures and greeting cards, and eventually selling postcards, which was their most successful line. Their business was one of the best known in the postcard boom of the late 1800s and early 1900s. Their contribution left a lasting effect on the most of the artistic world. During the Blitz, the company headquarters, Raphael House, was destroyed, including the originals for most of their series. The company never fully recovered. So that's really sad. But the fact that they mentioned that in the actual post, in the actual game here, with this image saying not even a paltry postcard or two, is very interesting to me. Like, it seems like a very strange thing. Now, also something I want to mention is that Hawaii specifically, which is what Alola's based on, does have a connection to the to the UK. I mean, the UK was one of the countries that did business with Hawaii. Back in back.
Before he gets into this absolutely ridiculous point. Oh my god, I can't even believe he's about to bring this up. I was mad before he started talking about this. Chill. Okay. What the fuck? So, an NPC mentions postcards, and that's somehow a reference to a British company that sells postcards, and that's why... Do you ever, like, look at yourself and, like, think about how ridiculous you sound? Okay, let's hear this next point, because this is about to be the worst point I think I've ever heard in any fucking Pokemon theory video ever.
which is what Alola's based on, does have a connection to the, to the UK. I mean, the UK was one of the countries that did business with Hawaii, back before Hawaii was fully settled by, all Americans and whatnot, before it became, a state or whatever, when it was still ruled by, the kings there, or one king who eventually took the whole, all the islands, because originally the Hawaiis were, they were actually ruled by different, kings, or, I'm not sure what there's a different word for them, but different kings basically ruled each island, and they warred over it, but eventually one king took control of everything. He took all of Hawaii and unified it, and made it into a single Hawaii, or rather, they were all different islands called different names, but eventually he unified them, and they were called, they called Hawaii at that point, and they became Hawaiians. So what happened at that point is they tried to industrialize and change, the island and improve it and whatnot by, doing trade and whatnot within Honolulu, unless I'm getting that wrong. They did a lot of trade with other countries, and some of these countries were the UK, or England, the UK, so say, or England, United States, Russia, and I think France as well might have been involved there, but France I think was unlikely though, but Russians did actually get involved there with them, and the British were definitely involved with a lot of trade there, so it's a very possible thing that this could be one of those connections here that's being made. So of course, a very interesting little catch there that, there was this big company that kind of, I guess, made postcards into like this very big successful thing, which is very interesting to me, and they seem to have a lot of, popular cards back in the day, which is very, very interesting, and they sold.
What? You realize that Great Britain, like, literally colonized, like, half the fucking planet, right? Like, literally, like, you could draw this connection from any other region ever. Did you know that the UK... Okay, let's go back to fucking 2011 or whatever. Okay, let's pretend we're in 2011. I'm making a Pokemon theory video. Did you guys actually know that, that the Unova is based on the United States, and the United States were actually colonized by Great Britain, and therefore the next region is probably going to be based in the United Kingdom. Actually, let's go back a few more years. 1998. Oh, did you guys know that Kanto and Johto were actually based on Japan, and Japan actually had trade routes set up with the UK back in the that. Wait. Did you guys know that? Let's pretend. Fuck! I just dropped my sandwich. Hold on. Did you guys know that in Gen 6 was based on Kalos, is based on France, which is actually very close to the UK, and they fought multiple wars together, so the next region would be based on the UK. This guy's a fucking idiot. I can't even believe I have to argue with this fucking video. I'm so upset right now. Just watch it. I need to eat.
A lot, apparently. They sold a big ton of them. So, saying that eventually selling postcards, which was their most successful line, the business was one of the best known for the postcard boom. So yeah, they were one of the best known for that. So it's very interesting. I mean, it's a tiny little thing, but you gotta remember that Game Freak leaves these tiny little hints that you don't think about until they just kind of blow up in your face later on when the actual, next generation games that were meant for, those hints were meant for, actually, end up being proven. So you never know with these things, guys. Now, the next thing, of course, is going to be the little map, which
You know what that's called? When you go back and see all the little details with the connections, it's called confirmation bias, and it's called hindsight. Because everything else that could hint to anything else in previous generations, you will completely ignore once you know what the new region is based on. This is like the most simple of cognitive biases you could possibly run into, dude. How could you... Like, I honestly, don't know if the people who make these theory videos know how ridiculous what they're talking about is, or if they just don't care because they know they're going to get clicks for it, or if they're really this fucking stupid.
she talked about a million times. Now, this is in one of the houses in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and if you look at the calendar, it's basically hinting at a country that looks very similar to the UK. Now, I'll show you the image, and I'll do the comparison here. Now, of course, first things first, we've got a small island on the left, which looks just like Ireland, but unfortunately, it doesn't look big enough to be the whole of Ireland, including Northern Ireland. It looks like it just contains Northern Ireland itself, and not the other part, like the rest of, your island, Northern Ireland. It doesn't seem to include the Northern Ireland, like the base Ireland, but only the Northern Ireland part, which is really strange to me, but maybe there's a reasoning for that. But the other side, though, looks like the UK. It genuinely looks like that's shaped like the UK. And of course, is also here, people saying that it could be the Bahamas, but it looks very much like the UK. And again, if you do a comparison here between the two images, you'll see what I'm talking about. They look very similar and very alike. And
how did they look similar? What?
honestly, based on like everything we know so far from like little hints and stuff, the UK would be a perfect region to actually base it on. In all honesty, it would be a great place. Now let's go to the next thing here, which is actually the most interesting and most likely the best hint towards Generation 8 being the UK, and that's going to be this image here, which was sent to me.
Here we go, boys. This is his main point. Let's hear it.
By Ashi, and also a larger version of it sent to me by Iluro, who basically sent me these images of Ash with another character watching TV, and on the TV, you have a character currently present, or a movie actor, I guess, an actor in movie, currently in a distant region, as mentioned by Rotomdex. The Rotomdex basically says that this has been filmed in a distant region, but we see this man, I'll show you two different images, but we see behind the man, though, and also around the man, we see a old British bridge, a very old British bridge, and also in the back, big houses looking very similar to the architecture of, you know, the buildings in London, the buildings in generally the UK, especially, you know, from a big city, quote-unquote. That looks very much like, you know, London itself. It's foggy, which is what the UK is known for, like very misty, foggy, whatever you want to call it. So much fog. The UK is known for that. Literally, it's one of the most foggiest places in the world. I know in Sweden as well, we tend to have some fogginess here as well, because we have a similar kind of, you know, similar kind of geography, so to say, but they have it the most, I'd say, probably. So this literally just looks like the UK. It straight up does this. It's undeniable. You know, trying to say that this is not looking like the UK would be just kind of, you know, I don't know, being kind of blind at that point. But straight up, it does look like the UK right off the bat. It looks fantastic. And honestly, I can't believe that this was actually in the anime, because if this is an actual hint, which would be nice if it was, it would be an awesome hint, though. You know, showing us the anime a hint towards what we might be getting is very intriguing. There's also another hint in the anime showing actually, weirdly enough, it was showing a Eevee, and the trainer of that Eevee saying, "Oh, what if I evolved you into a bug type?" And then he said like, and then they just say, "Ha ha, nah," you know, as a joke, like just as a joke. But seriously, these are weird little things that they do and weird little hints. So I'm really intrigued. But this straight up does look like the UK, though. You guys can see it themselves here. You know what I mean? It does look like the UK. It's undeniable. So yeah, that is that. But what is next, though? Well, next thing here, it doesn't actually relate to the UK, but it's another thing that was posted by Junichi Masuda, which is him.
Listen, dude. I just stained my white sweatpants with like really oily orange garlic pasty shit, okay? So I'm really upset right now. I'm gonna try to be really calm, really constructive here, okay? If you're going to make this argument of the anime hinting towards this new region with something like that, okay? If you're going to make this argument, you have to support it with past examples of the anime doing this. Because otherwise, you just come off as clickbaity and lazy. Because you put no actual research or effort or work into this. It's actually ridiculous to me that you would give so little of a fuck. And it makes me think even more that you know exactly what you're doing, that you know exactly how fucking stupid it is, and you just don't care. Because you know little kids watch your videos and they eat it up. Because they have no critical thinking skills. I don't know. Just makes me think, you know?
And his love for the capybara. Now, the capybara is an animal that is present in, I guess, South America. It is there. You can find the capybara in South America. You can also find it in other parts of the world. But the capybara does not have any connection to the UK. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because a lot of people are using the fact that maybe the capybara is going to be the next starter Pokemon. That may make it so the UK is not going to be the next place. Now, do remember, guys, just because the Pokemon are not from that part of the world, that does not mean that they wouldn't make a region based on that area.
Oh my god. I just had the best idea. No. Guys. Thanks, Dino. I appreciate it. You guys want to see this shit? I just got these out of the washer and put these on. Look at this shit. Look at that. Look at what you made me do, RuffletRowlit. Look at what you made me do. Look at this. I just had the funniest idea. We should send this guy a tweet where we go like, "Hey, dude, did you know that the countries that the capybara is native to, that those were actually colonized by the Brits in like 1755? So there's another connection to the British region." And then make up a lot, like more and more bullshit like that, and send that to him in tweets and see if he puts it in a video. I think that would be funny as fuck.
for the capybara. Now, the capybara is an animal that is present in, I guess, South America. It is there. You can find the capybara in South America. You can also find it in other parts of the world. But the capybara does not have any connection to the UK. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because a lot of people are using the fact that maybe the capybara is going to be the next starter Pokemon. That may make it so the UK is not going to be the next place. Now, do remember, guys, just because the Pokemon are not from that part of the world, that does not mean that they wouldn't make a region based on that area. If, we look at any generation of Pokemon, the Pokemon that they're, being based on aren't always connected to the areas of the world they're in. I mean, if you look at specifically, for example, I guess France, I mean, some of the Pokemon that were included there were not actually directly connected to, France. Or you look at Sinnoh and you have, Infernape, I guess, or whatever. I'm not sure, does it connect to, like, Sun Wukong or something? Does that connect to Sinnoh, the Sinnoh region? There's a lot of Pokemon that didn't directly connect to the region they're based on, or based in, rather, or the region they're from.
Bro, there were so many easy examples to bring up there, and you just gave up halfway through. Are you fucking kidding me? What is this low-effort content? Just see, Empoleon, penguins. There's no penguins in Sinnoh. Bam, easy. So easy, bro. Bam. Zebstrika, there's no zebras in America. Bam, so easy. How little fucking effort do you put into this video, dude? I just came up with that in 2 seconds, and you didn't bring up any examples to support your point. I actually agree with you, and you're still making shitty points.
They don't really base themselves on that actual place or the place they're inspired by. They don't really get based off of that. Because we have a ton of Pokemon that have no connections. I mean, look at Xatu, right? Xatu is based on, like, Indian folklore, like the Indians, Native Americans, I would say. I'm calling them Indians, but, it's based on them and their tribes and whatnot, and their totem poles. But it was introduced in, like, what, Gen 2 and whatnot? Like, does that make any sense to you that, like, just because, Johto is based on Japan, but Xatu and Natsu are not based on any Japanese animals directly, birds, whatever, but their actual background is based on something totally different from the other side of the world. So my point I'm trying to get across here is that even if, like, the capybara is the next Pokemon they're going to use maybe for the starter Pokemon of the grass, next grass starter Pokemon, that doesn't mean that it makes it impossible for for the region still be in the UK, just because that's what they're basing it on. So I want you to kind of bring that up just so people can understand. Now, of course, we have the image we talked about a million times, showing us the world here, of course, in the background, and of course the Christmas tree. And I've got a lot of people sending me messages actually telling me, like, hey man, I kind of discovered something interesting about this. And one of these things that actually was sent to me was from Shane, also known as Smith__94 on Twitter, saying, hey man, happy holidays to you, and also happy holidays to you, my man. I really hope you guys all actually, including Shane and everybody here who's watching this video, hope you're having a happy holiday, happy new year, and all that stuff, lads. Hope you're having a good old time. But either way, so his message says, hey man, happy holidays to you. I realized that the image posted by Game Freak with the pink-looking tree and the globe, well, the tree looks like the traditional Victorian-style Christmas tree, which may hint at the UK and its past. Probably but not, but hey, it's fun to theorize. And dude, I looked at this image that he sent me, and he's actually for real. Now, I was gonna be like, okay, let's just see what the Victorian, tree is. And what I did discover was that the one that he sent me was pink and had pink, like, ornaments and whatnot around it. But not all of them are, pink as in the actual tree itself is pink, but rather the stuff around it can be pink and just kind of like massive. It's got a lot of stuff on it, right? Normal Christmas tree, the trees you see from Americans tend to be like, or just like your generic kind of Christmas tree. It tends to have like small amount of stuff on it, but these ones are loaded. Like, there's so much stuff on these Victorian Christmas trees. Like, they're very, very loaded with like stuff on them. And the same thing you can see here in this image that he sent me can also be seen from the image from, of course, Game Freak, which is very similar here, as you may notice. There's a bunch of stuff on there, and it's very strange. Now, that's not all though, because we have more stuff, ladies and gentlemen. We have more stuff. Now, if you guys may remember this, we had an individual called Royal Jardinus.
Guys, I just Googled Victorian style Christmas tree. How far do you guys think I have to scroll to find one that's pink? This one looks kind of pink, right? Ah, shit, no, never mind. Nope. Still no pink. Still no pink Christmas trees, guys. Shit. Hey, this one looks pretty pink. I don't know. I don't know, guys. What else do you got? We're halfway through this fucking video. It's called fish and chips.
Some information previously, and I thought we'd take a look at some other thing that he sent me actually here, which was really interesting. And here's basically what he sent me and said, #Gen 8, #Pokemon Generation 8, #Pokemon Generation 8, #Pokemon 2019, and a link to a video. And he says, here's an example of the Industrial Revolution from the London 2012 Olympics opening ceremony that showcases the meaning of the old tradition versus new and innovation, or new exploration rather. Now, literally, this is what we've been hearing about. This is the rumor we've been hearing about. There's going to be old tradition versus new innovation with Pokemon Switch or Pokemon Generation 8. Now, what's interesting about the UK, ladies and gentlemen? Well, here's the thing: the UK is one of the first countries, and one of the first countries that went through kind of the Industrial Revolution. It was one of the first countries to actually do those things, to actually industrialize its world and innovate and change and just basically like do things that other countries weren't doing. Actually go into the Industrial Revolution in a nice manner. Well, I mean, nice and nice. I mean, it depends on how you want to define it. But they actually did industrialize their country and actually made changes, and well, they became a superpower. That's why they are a superpower, because they actually went those extra miles in that sense, while other countries may not have been able to catch up in the same sense. So they were one of the first people to do that. And of course, at that point, there must have been a clash in terms of the traditional ways of the country versus the industrializing ways and the ways of looking at the future and all that stuff. So it's very interesting potential here. I'm just saying. But now the next thing we have here is coming from Ace Trainer Basil. Now Basil here says that he basically noticed something on the Game Freak Christmas tree.
I'm sorry. I didn't get that point at all. What the fuck was his point? What the fuck was his point? What the fuck was his point? Okay, so Britain was the first country allegedly to industrialize. Is that even true? I don't even know if that's true. It was one of the first, I guess. What the fuck does that have to do with Gen 8? He said something about the Switch and having old... What? A rumor? What's the rumor? What is this rumor that he's talking about? What is he talking about? There's a rumor about the region being old versus new? What does that have to do with the Industrial Revolution? Liam, I'll watch later. Chill.
Picture, which was something that people didn't really think about. I noticed this, but I didn't think it was anything special. So I'll take a look at it again here. But what he just says is, these two are not Pokemon, and he basically puts circles on two specific things here on the screen, and I thought it'd be interesting to look at what he meant here. Now he says, and why are there books under the Christmas tree? The tree is pink. Why does everyone think this is okay? Phone on the table from another tweet could be a reference to the British phone books. Now,
What?
that could be true as well. So first things first, of course, if we look at this image here, is he circles in an image that just looks like Pikachu. I think he may have, maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing here, but the one that's circled in here might be the thing behind it, but I'm a little bit unsure, though. If it's the one that he's actually the
Isn't
yellow
that
one there, that's just
Mimikyu?
Pikachu. But the other one there on the right side, though, looks like a little pig snot, like one of those pig noses, right? It looks like a pig nose, and what I came to mind to me was, maybe it's I don't know, mammo swine or something, maybe something like that. I don't know. That's what came to my mind. Mammoth swine or its pre-evolutions, anything like that. Maybe like a swinub. Maybe a swinub, because swinub has a snot like that, and the eyes are very much closed up like that. So maybe that's what it is. Mammoth swine, swinub, pillow swine. I don't know. Pilot swine, not pillow swine. But maybe it's something like that. And of course, there's the books down there, which are a little bit strange. It's kind of weird. Wouldn't you have boxes, presents or whatever behind, below there? It seems very strange to have books. I don't know, because it's not really people read books anymore. It seems very traditional, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. No, but I'm just messing around, lads. But yeah, that's one of the things that we notice here. So there's a lot of weird stuff going.
What? What the fuck was your point? This is all just filler. Your video has no content at this point. You haven't said anything of substance in, the entire video. But at least you brought up, some things for the first 10 minutes. And everything since that has just been nothing. Look at the picture of this Christmas tree. Here's some really fucking, absolutely convoluted, 100% unbelievable ways in which this somehow relates to Great Britain, one of the most culturally influential countries in the entire world, where you can literally find any reference of it anywhere and anything. I really fucking want to know if this guy is really this stupid or if he just pretends to be. Because he knows it gets him clicks.
Going on right now. So, of course, we had all that, and I think we're pretty much reaching almost the end here of stuff we're going to talk about in this video. So, one of the final things we're going to go through is going to be a theory that was listed back in February this year by someone who had some interesting points. But before that, we have something here that was sent to me by also Iluro, which sent me the image from the Pokemon anime showcasing, Ash watching the TV show when they were in the UK. So, what does Nadim here, or Iluro, have to tell me? So, basically, he says, alright, man, short info concerning that episode. Ash and Kukui are watching an episode of a guy they met in Alola who works kind of as a movie director. For that episode, he went to London after watching the episode. Rotom calls that place a faraway region. Now, he does also include something else here, which is kind of interesting. That's his starter theory, which if you guys want to see the starter theory and all about that, just check out my old video about the UK, and that should give you more info on that. But yeah, that's just kind of a little bit of info that I want to just kind of bring up as kind of explains those images that I showed earlier with Ash being, in the UK and whatnot. So yeah, just wanted to explain that really, just quickly here, guys. But let's go to the final thing, which is the theory. I'm gonna keep this really brief and really quick here. So some of you posted on Reddit saying why Gen 8 could be in Britain, and I thought it'd be very interesting to actually read through this. So let's take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. So it starts off like this. I'm thinking that the Pokemon Switch Gen 8 could be set in Britain, whose post story would act as a sequel to X and Y. I'm first going to explain why a sequel to X and Y is likely in 3 points. Then I'll explain what this has to do to Britain. Now, Zygarde is the center of the 2018 Legendary Distribution event. One may argue that this is because Shiny Zygarde was not previously available. But then that begs the question, why it wasn't released alongside Shiny Xerneas and Vettel in October 2015? This could be because they were planning on saving it for whenever Zygarde would have a prominent role. Note that Sun and Moon was released in November 2016, hence in development much before said events. In an interview, Masood explains that the reason why and this is the second point, the reasons why he didn't have a Z straight afterwards is because they're always trying to surprise people. Perhaps the surprise was not having any follow-up to X and Y, period. Yet with Sun and Moon having a follow-up, it begs the question why X and Y is the only region that didn't have one. The Nintendo NX was in development as early as 2012, and by 2013 it was decided that it would be a hybrid portable system. When Nintendo unveiled the NX, they showed
Isn't that the wrong way to use begs the question? I'm sorry, this is really nitpicky, but
fans there will be a third party to support and strong
okay, let's read through this Reddit post with him.
release titles. Having learned from the failures of the Wii U, it's fairly believable that Game Freak, responsible for Nintendo's second best-selling franchise, would have been notified about the plans for the Switch early on, so they could work on the development of a game sooner than later. Now, this was before this individual actually knew about the stuff, but now we already know, yes, they have been actually working on the game way ahead of time. So this guy already knew it, and I think most of us already knew this. We talked about this, earlier this year in my previous videos. This guy, he got it back in February. He still got it as well. So this could have been soon enough after X and Y, released in late 2013, they decided to shelve any plans for a follow-up for X and Y for the Switch. So now let me explain why I believe Britain could be the next region for the Pokemon Switch games. With Kalos available as post-story a la Kanto with Johto, here's why. Historically, Britain had a reputation of being France's greatest and most despised rival. Kalos had a war with another unknown region 3,000 years ago. There was a chance that this could have been Alola, considering Alola...
Remember, like 10 minutes ago when I brought up this argument to make fun of him? He's literally bringing up that argument now. About France and Britain. I literally knew he was gonna fucking do this.
Alola's existence was implied in X and Y. However, that wasn't the case. So if there's another country that is unknown, there's another region, will there ever be based on? It's Britain. Now, this conjuncture is independent of whether it'll be Gen 8 or not. However, Britain is a strong candidate to be chosen for...
Wait, this Reddit post says, if there is any country that this unknown region will ever be based on, it's Britain. Why? There's no other countries that France went to war with? And when have Pokemon events ever been based on real-life historical events? Yeah, we're gonna make a children's game, and the lore is based on the eternal rivalship of Great Britain and France and the thousands of bloody wars that they fought over the years. Like, do you really think this is how they develop their fucking games?
The next region. I wasn't able to...
Yeah, the worst part about this theory video is he has no fucking idea what he's talking about, but if for some ungodforsaken reason the next region is based on the UK somehow, he's gonna be like, I was right, I predicted it. In hindsight, even though all of his conclusions that he reached were completely wrong.
Dig up stats on Pokemon game sales by country, but let me know if you do. But I figured the UK is comparably high alongside Japan, the US, and France. 3 countries would have which have had regions so far, and it would make sense to tribute a region based on Britain sooner than later. Now, I want to imply here really quickly in the middle of this actual reading that yes,
should I send him a challenge on Twitter to put up $1,000 to donate to a charity if the next Pokemon game is based on Britain?
UK is one of the best-selling places for Pokemon games. They sell well, well into
that way we could find out if he actually believes this or not.
Actually, when it comes to Pokemon, they actually have reached high numbers. So yes, the UK would be actually great to base a region on if you're looking for the market for it. Because I think if you base the region
high numbers doesn't give any examples. What? What do you mean?
For the UK, a lot of UK players would be like, yes, this is what I wanted, this is awesome. So I think that'll be awesome. Now, the UK also is a very popular place to travel to, and one which is very recognizable. This would create a lot more memorability and hype for Pokemon's lead title on the Switch. Vice versa, being the lead title's region for the Switch would make the tribute to the UK fanbase all the more meaningful. In contrast, if Britain's region had been released immediately after France's, and both in the 3DS, perhaps the Europe experience would blend it too much and feel stale. The same if they had the Mega Evolutions for 2 generations in a row, considering that...
Except, they put, like... 2 different Japan versions on one system with Johto and Kanto, and then they brought out 2 more Japan versions right next to each other. This isn't supported by anything else Nintendo has ever done. You're just pulling this out of your ass. 5 upvotes, by the way.
So not the rival. The neighboring regions, which suggests that they both would have exposure to Mega Evolution. Some fans have vocalized they were tired of Mega Evolution so early as when Oras Megas were being revealed, shaking up the series with new IDs, Alola Forms, Z moves, and Ultra Beasts, and
Josh, how's
save
it
the return
going?
to Mega Evolutions for later give us the same time to feel less burned out by Megas, and showed us they weren't just going to rely on Mega Evolutions to carry them through every single generation. And this is so good because Masuda and also Ishihara did point out that they are not done with Mega Evolutions. They literally said we're gonna bring Mega Evolutions back again in the future when we feel it's right, and this would be the perfect timing. Literally, as he mentions here, X and Y does have seem to probably will have connection if it is the Britain, right? If it's Britain and the UK as an region, then it's gonna have a direct connection to X and Y where Mega Evolutions first got into existence for us.
Hill Street, thank you so much for the gift sub. I really appreciate it. Josh, enjoy the emotes. Thank you so much, Jawans. I really appreciate it. Look at the comments.
The first time we saw them, which is perfect. You just get me so excited. Oh boy, okay. Now, he says here, I know
From
it's
the Reddit post?
the argument for Oraz Z, Emerald Z, or Sun and Moon Z, but the difference is that Hawaii, Alola, and Japan, Hoenn, wouldn't have the geographically made sense, whereas Britain and France are actual neighbors. And he also says, TLDR, Zygarde has connections to Kalos, Kalos is connected to France, France connected to Britain, I'm connected to the Illuminati, hence hashtag Britain confirmed with you. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for these listings here that we are looking at. So I think that's just about it for this video. I just want to go through all this and talk about why the UK could be a possible region based on all these little hints, all these little things that are popping up here and there, and I would just love to know what you guys think about it. If you have any thoughts about this, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is RuffletRowlit. Have yourselves a great day, ladies and gentlemen, and bye-bye.
This is probably the stupidest video that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I'm actually really, like, genuinely upset right now. I'm genuinely upset. I wish... Remember when you could make response videos on YouTube? Remember that? I'm so upset. I'm so upset. Anyway, let's play some some Renegade Platinum. Oh my god. I gotta wash out these stains out of my pants real quick. I'll be back in like 5 minutes.